Welcome to the PropTech podcast. It's Kylie Davis here, and I'm delighted to be your host as we explore the brave new world where technology and real estate collide. I passionately believe we need to create and grow a sense of community between the innovators and real estate agents, and sharing our stories is a great way to do that. Now, the aim of each episode is to introduce listeners to a PropTech innovator who is pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and to explore the issues and challenges raised by the tech and how they can create amazing property experiences. And my guest in this episode is Craig Deveson from Properti, and that's property spelt with an I, a prop tech that turns your CRM into a social media machine, making it easy to create targeted posts for Facebook, Instagram, and other social media. Social media and how to do it is a huge issue for agents. New data from Active Pipe, authored by yours truly, found that 93% of agents believe digital and social media marketing is important to their success, but only 42% feel that their skills are good, and just 4% think that they are excellent. So there is a huge need for tech that simplifies and makes it easy to get results. Now, Craig has a long track record creating technology businesses on Amazon Web Services, AWS, and he and I first met a couple of years ago at the PropTech Summit, where he, Sarah Bell, and James Dearsley and I ended the night propping up the bar and solving all the problems of the PropTech universe. So here to tell us all about it. So Craig Deveson, welcome to the PropTech podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me on. Looking forward to it.
It's great. And I had completely forgotten that we had met because I am terrible at names. But of course, now that we're seeing each other on video, although our listeners can't see, we met at the PropTech Summit back with Sarah and James from Unisu.
Yes, that's right. I mean, look, I'm sure we would have seen more of each other had it not been for COVID and being able to travel more and go to more conferences. But yeah, it's Zoom these days, so yeah.
Yeah. And so, look, I am really looking forward to the story of Properti, because Properti with an I, because as we were talking about before, when we first met, you pitched an idea to me and I went, oh, no, that won't work, which at the time I felt terrible about. But so tell me, what is the elevator pitch for Properti, for your new baby Properti?
So we're an all-in-one platform for multi-channel social media marketing automation, automative creative generation, including video and image, for both organic and paid social media for real estate.
Okay, so I'm really excited about this because I've just done some work with Active Pipe around what the pain points are in digital marketing. And what we saw in that research was that while real estate agents know that they need to be embracing digital marketing better, and especially social media, they don't necessarily understand how to do it. So tell me, how does Properti do it? How does it help?
So the approach we've taken is we're an all-in-one integrated platform. Mm-hmm. So it connects in with your CRM, so it gets the data from your CRM, and then it creates the images and the videos from that data, and then can post organically to all social media channels. So Facebook, Instagram, we're the only prop tech that has organic Instagram in the market. LinkedIn, YouTube, we've got Google coming. And then you've got on top of that the ability to boost it with ads. So it's this all-in-one solution. So actually, like a customer last week said, we're a bit like the Active Pipe for social. So we really see ourselves being this integrated offering for social media for real estate.
Okay, awesome. So why is social so important for agents to embrace?
Look, social's really important for them to embrace because, according to one of these surveys from last year from the Close, 83% of new customers come from referrals, but the next most common channel is social. So that's at 44%. So people look up an agent on social media for social proof and how they run campaigns, and those sorts of things. So that social proof and referral is very, very important. Further to that, in this particular report, what agents said they would focus on this year, and this is US data, but 82% said improve their social media presence, then 65 CRM and email, and then branding. So that branding and improving the social media presence is a big part of differentiating yourself as an agent in the market.
Okay, so these are US figures, but they're looking, but we know that we often follow in on behind US trends in this space. So first of all, personal referrals, obviously the most powerful form of marketing you've got, but then secondly, potential clients seeing you on Facebook or on social media are using that as evidence to test you out a bit, I guess, or to see whether they like you and want to have a relationship with you.
Yeah, so increasingly, particularly with millennials advising their parents, maybe in a downsizing scenario, will be looking for social proof and looking for the agents that tell a story about how they run their campaigns, how often they're on these channels, how successful they are, and how well they know their local market.
So what kind of content are you creating? Is it only sort of listing videos, or is it other content as well? So
the automatically generated content is around listings, so just listed, just sold, but also things like open for inspection videos and images, so that all becomes automated for both rentals and sales, but also the back-looking data, so all last month's sales. So anything that can be collated together in an automated fashion, we're able to do the heavy lifting in the system. So at the moment, yes, the channel is the CRM data, but we'll open that up to other channels of data, such as curated content in the future.
Okay, awesome. Well, it sounds a lot like Home Prezzo used to be before it got bought by Actipy.
We currently don't do data such as the say from Pricefinder or CoreLogic at this stage, because that is being used on other channels. So we see ourselves as integrating end to end for social. So that's why we haven't gone down that path.
So what are the key blockers to agents doing a better job on social media?
So agents find, except for the top 5%, agents find social too hard. They really struggle with consistency, being able to keep things on brand, timely, and cross-channel. And this is often because either the creative's not there, there's a lack of resources, and they just find it too hard. They like to talk to their customers, get the listing, bring it into the office. It should be able to go into a plug-and-play system, and they should forget about it. And if it's not like that, it doesn't get used. Right.
So you're automating the creation of a lot of this content and then posting it out. How effective is it? Like what's the evidence that you've got that it's getting engagement or working?
So look, I would answer that question in two parts. So the first part is the consistency piece and it being on brand and saving time and money. So we believe the system pays for itself in a certain size agency just on the labour savings by itself. So that's step one. Step two is you've got to look at certain campaign types, and one example would be an example of a just sold campaign. So we have this 5-step process, which is from pre-sale to posting to promoting to selling to getting a testimonial, and then running that testimonial just sold as a paid ad to a landing page seeking appraisal requests. So that process actually is the cheapest way of generating branded listing appraisal requests in the market. And you do it by telling this story across this retargeted data. Now, that's another concept that's not well understood in the industry, but if you have a video that is seen by 50,000 people, with our targeting options, you can then retarget those people that might have watched the video for 5 seconds or 10 seconds. They convert a whole lot better because they've seen the brand, they've seen the property. You then, in the campaign, may say that, we had this many people through for an inspection, it was $100,000 over price, etc., and then that drives an inquiry. And that is a effective way and very cheap way of driving listing requests or appraisal requests off the back of a successful campaign.
Okay. So look, let's just back up again and do a little bit of a summary, because I'm conscious that a lot of agents do find social media very complicated. And so I want to just make sure we're really summarising and getting it very clear. So the pain points agents have with creating content consistently is around the time it takes to do it regularly and the work, I guess, involved in sort of manually building it. So you're solving those two problems in that you're making it quick and easy to produce some great quality content. And then you're also making it easy to get it posted onto social media, but then also targeted and retargeting people that may have interacted with that content in some way in the past or with your content.
That's right. So what we're trying to do is to take what typically is done in an agency with, smart digital marketers. We're putting it into a playbook and helping to implement that using technology so that we're able to drive through that in a consistent way for the agents.
Okay, awesome. So what are some of the results that your clients have seen?
So the results, vary. But if I was to talk about that example of listing requests off the back of a sale, we've seen up to 30 appraisal requests come off the back of campaigns. So
for a single campaign.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. So I love this because one of my big bugbears about real estate agents is that they boast that they've sold a property, but they never tell anyone what they sold it for, which kind of is completely unhelpful. Like, of course you sold a property, you're a freaking real estate agent. That's what real estate agents do. There is no news or insight in that, right? But you're saying that by showing that you've sold the property, are you sharing the price or is that dependent on?
I like to share the price, but it's up to the principal of the agency whether they do that or not. But it's about telling that story, which is things like, we ran this video campaign, got 100,000 views. We got this many views on this. We got this many people who engaged. We got this many offers. We had this many bids, and we drove that outcome. So to try and drive that social proof, it's real. You're putting yourself out there with real data. Not just saying, I'm a great agent, I sold a property. You're actually giving some people, okay, this is how they run a campaign, and here's an example of the results they get.
And we see agents are very good at explaining what their marketing campaigns look like in traditional and other media. So I guess this is kind of like the missing piece. Yeah, the missing link, the missing piece. So look, I've got a question. That example that you gave where you had 30 responses or requests for an appraisal, did that agent provide the price of the property that was sold?
In that case, yes.
Ah, there you go.
Yeah. So look,
okay, I rest my case. Sharing valuable information works.
So I come from the place where more information is better, not less.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I think sharing more of that information is actually better rather than, I think some agents are trying to hide there's some sort of secret sauce to running a good listing campaign. Look, there probably are some things, but there's some fundamentals you can share. And at the end of the day, it's the brand and that person over and above that. But share that data. I mean, you shouldn't be embarrassed to hide it.
No, look, I understand that some vendors might not want their information sold. But I think we err too far on the side of caution, and that once a vendor has sold a property and then they're in the market to buy, their belief around what they should be able to see changes completely. So I think the time is right for us to have really upfront conversations with people about the value of sharing that info.
It's not just sharing of the price, but it's actually sharing how the campaign was run.
Yeah.
So just more than just, say how many people come to the open, how many bidders were there, or whatever. So just that information is important, I think, in trying to get validation, and the reason why it's better validated publicly on social media rather than just in the listing pack, that it's out there. It's less likely to be, if it's wrong, you've got to stand behind that, right? Where anybody could say that this was what there is in that listing presentation, because, how do you prove that?
And now let's hear a word from our sponsors. For almost 16 years, Direct Connect has made moving easy for over 1.2 million renters and homeowners by arranging connections to a wide range of services, from electricity and gas to internet and pay TV. With a national team of local account managers who are experts in the industry, Direct Connect are there to support your real estate business with competitive rewards for every successful connection, plus an industry-leading rewards program. The connection process is simple, and Direct Connect's always-on guarantee ensures your customers will be connected on the day they move in. Direct Connect offers a range of market-leading suppliers, and Direct Connect has now made it even easier than ever to send connections, directly integrating with MRI Software's Property Tree. So in just a few clicks while processing a tenancy, you can send the connection details through and get your customers connected. To make the right connection and find out how Direct Connect can make moving easy for you and easy for your customers, visit agents.directconnect.com.au or call 1300 558 169. In some of the research that I've been doing with ActivePipe too, we know that not supplying information is a key bugbear of buyers, potential, buyers. And here's the catch-22 that it creates. Agents today tell me consistently, or tell all of us consistently, oh, we're so busy. We're so busy. Life's so hectic. It's all crazy. Technology hasn't, dealt the promises the things that we were promised. But that's because agents keep hanging on to doing things the old way. And if you don't provide a price, then if people want to know that price, they have to call you. And then they have to wait for you to call them back. And then you get into this phone tag loop that just adds time to your day when all they wanted to do was see on the website how much you sold it for. Like, that's all they wanted. Like, oh, okay, if that went for that much, it's either in my budget, out of my budget, or I should sell my house. Like, that's the decision-making process that people want to make. But when we don't share that information, we give ourselves 59 more jobs to do by putting more people on our call list in the mistaken belief that they will see that that's better service. They won't, because it takes us too long to get back to them.
You're absolutely right, and we get some agents that won't turn some of our automation on because they like tinkering with 5% of every listing, and that tinkering doesn't really significantly change the campaign, but it adds to this time problem.
Yeah.
Whereas if they did automate, more. And accept a very good campaign, not this extra 5% tinkering all the time, they would have more time to talk to, these buyers and be able to get more appraisals out there.
Yeah, awesome. I'm going to get off my soapbox, although I'm sure I'll get on it again before we get to the end of this interview, Craig. So have you found, tell me what the response has been like to Properti. Have you found, and how did COVID have an impact on you at all? Because you're still fairly new. What was that like? So
look, our story was, I probably had 3 or 4 ideas that didn't work, and then we got one that we thought was close. We then went and launched that at an REIQ event. I think that was February last year, exactly when COVID was breaking.
Right.
So we only had half the attendance and everyone was nervous, and we're going, this is not a good idea. So what we did is we decided to not go ahead with launching the product. We rebuilt it and really relaunched it in July, August. So we worked with a couple of our key customers, made the product a whole lot better, and then come out stronger when we were confident we could move forward. And in the second half of last year, Queensland and New South Wales in particular, the market was you could poke your head up reasonably safely.
Yep.
And that was the market we went into, and then and really since Christmas, we've been going gangbusters, and like yourself, had our biggest month ever last month.
Fantastic. So who are some of your biggest clients, if I can ask?
So look, we have focused a lot on boutiques because we haven't want to get caught up in the franchise sales cycle, but we have leading boutiques in Queensland such as Calibre, DJ Stringer. We have people like Properti Central in regional New South Wales. We have some Ray White offices. We have some First National offices. We have Biggin and Scott offices. So we're getting a good spread of customers through the different cycle. We're also part of the Brisbane PropTech Accelerator group of 12 companies. And that's opening up doors to CEOs of about 6 franchise groups, for example. So we're expecting that we'll have some very engaged conversations at that level in the coming months with that behind us and a solid product.
Fantastic. So what's your background, Craig?
So I'd like to think of myself as a tech entrepreneur. I've built and sold 3 tech companies. So the last 2, one was a Google-based business, and the other was an Amazon Web Services business, both to US technology companies. So my go-to seems to be create regional companies which get interested from overseas companies. In that process, I suppose I saw real estate from the back end. So a very early customer was RP Data, for example, back in a Google business. I introduced Google Maps there, for example.
Oh, my goodness.
Google search appliance. Exactly. And then, Google Maps and these sorts of things into some of the franchise groups, or then looked after a whole lot of Amazon technology with REA and those sorts of things. So I saw stuff from the back end. So I wanted to, in this startup, pick a vertical, not a horizontal play. And I still believe that the PropTech's a great space, and that real estate is going to be disrupted further by technology.
Absolutely, I agree with you there. So now when you said that Properti does both organic and boosted posts. Are you boosting, or are you using Ad Manager or Facebook Business Manager?
Okay, so
we're getting techie here, peeps. I'm sorry.
I use the word boosted because the market tends to understand that better.
Got it. Yep.
But no, we do organic. We boost using effectively Business Manager. So we're a Facebook partner, and our technology can boost that or run full ad sets and ads. So we do all of that through our interface. And so what we find is that by being able to do the organic as well, off the one platform, really provides that end-to-end solution. And we don't clip the ticket on the ad spend, right? So that 100% of the ad spend goes into the campaign. And the customer keeps all of the data. So we don't share the data. It's the customer's data. We sit on top of it and enhance it. So it's all on their accounts and all of their ad spend. So that's quite a different approach, but we believe in transparency, and the customer should own their data.
Awesome. Okay. So that was a question for Lara Scott, because I'm sure she would she would be interested. So we're saying that you're using the word boosting, but really that's just a shorthand, not in the technical sense of a Facebook boosted post versus a Facebook ad manager and the full analytics that you're getting from the back end if you're doing it in the proper way through ad manager and business manager.
Yeah, that's correct.
Got
Yeah.
it. Okay.
It's full ads. As I said, the real estate understanding of ads and boosting and organic is quite low. So I try to often go to the lowest common denominator in trying to explain it.
No, it's simple work, so I get it. So, Craig, what do you think are the 3 things that agents should be doing right now to improve their social and digital marketing?
So I'll answer that by first of all talking about content types. So I think that there's really 3 content types that they should think about. So one is automated content, so that that can just happen. Then curated content, so that could be semi-automated, so it's got some human involvement, and then custom, which probably has very little automation. So how do you group your digital strategy around those things? So a lot of the automated stuff can be the heavy lifting that gives you that consistency, but then if you can do a mix of the others, that makes a big difference. Increase the use of social video as opposed to just video. A lot of 3-minute videos featuring agents driving in their cars into driveways and we surveyed 10,000 of these. You only get about 200 views, and the average video is about $700. Now, last time I looked, that's not a good ROI.
No.
So if you create social videos which are 10 seconds, 30 seconds, certainly under a minute for Instagram, you're able to drive that engagement and get people coming back to your site or whatever you may look at. The third thing is think about campaigns from a top, middle and bottom of funnel. Agents want to think about just bottom of funnel, but to get people into the bottom of the funnel, you've got to engage them with something like a video, which might be a bit more branded, some other piece of content in the middle that they then might get to the end. So, that all makes a lot of sense to yourself being in the content business, but that's not commonly thought about in real estate land.
Yep.
And so we want to try and put systems in place that just do that automatically, so that they don't have to think about it too much.
No. Well, you want to build the relationship before you go wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, right?
Look, that's exactly right, and that's why this social proof, looking at what's happening, reading a white paper, seeing a video on what the best shops are in that local area, whatever it is, all of that's important in building that brand. So when the person engages, they're engaging with someone real, just not it's more than a transaction.
Absolutely. It's a relationship, and people want a real estate agent that they can go back to, in 6 or 7 or 10 years' time, once they've had enough of this place and they're looking to move again. They don't want to have to go through the whole speed dating thing. If you're a real estate agent, you know you need to do more digital marketing, and that includes creating articles, blogs, emails, and landing pages. But that's a lot to learn, and it can be really hard. So check out ActivePipe. ActivePipe is a specialist digital marketing platform designed especially for real estate agents. It allows you to quickly and easily create engaging emails, including the ability to drag and drop properties into emails that you can send out to buyers, sellers, renters, anyone. ActivePipe's smart automation allows you to get more leads from your database by understanding the property journey of your contacts and automatically customising and personalising emails based on their preferences. And now with the new product, Real Estate Content, you get access to hundreds of stories written about the property market that answer common questions your clients have about how to buy and sell and market performance. So download ActivePipe's free white paper, The Scalable Agent. It's got everything you need to know about how to become a better digital marketer. And it's written by me, Kylie Davis. Go to activepipe.com.au or Google The Scalable Agent. So, Craig, what do you think the next 5 years holds in this space? Even over the last sort of 2 years or so, Facebook's gone a little bit on the nose in terms of, how the whole data and misinformation and fake news and all that sort of stuff. How do you think, is social going to be more or less important? Where do you think it's going? So
I think it'll be more important. What will happen though is we're going to see an increase in regulation, and an increase in privacy settings. So we're seeing that with Apple bringing that in at the moment. So that's going to create some short-term challenges, but that will see a flight to quality. And I wouldn't write off any of the big players finding ways around the challenges they have now. So it could be a small step back to take a step forward. So that's why that they'll solve it, but it will be challenging in the short term. But everyone's in the same boat. You're going to see that ephemeral content will be more popular. So if people aren't familiar with that term, so short-term content, so content you can actually timestamp how long it exists on a channel.
Okay. Yep.
So that will be more important. And the use of
and sorry, that's stuff like Facebook stories or Insta stories, or that's that kind of stuff that times out, right?
That's correct, yeah. So if people get more worried about their whole life's histories on social forever, the ability to post things for a day, 7 days, or whatever, will be more important. The use of technology such as augmented reality, so that will all be very important in social. And I think you'll see a return to an enhanced version of like Facebook groups. So you'll see a whole lot more around local community on social. So that greater community feel will come out in products in the future. So and we're seeing a lot of experimentation around that. So like Clubhouse. Twitter's experimenting with a Clubhouse in there, I believe, so's Facebook. So there's a whole lot of these experiments taking place, but I think you'll see a whole lot more in that kind of local space. Probably premium services where you don't have ads might be an option.
Oh, please.
So kind of,
I'm in.
So kind of like YouTube Premium.
Yep.
That kind of thing. I think you might see more of that. And look, you'll see more social in customer service, and you already see that, with the Telstras of the world now, right? So it's easier to talk to Telstra or a utility via a chat bot or some other mechanism than ring them up. So all of that will become far more normal, particularly dealing with big corporates moving forward.
Okay, well, I love this idea too about social media becoming a delivery channel for virtual or augmented reality. Tell me a little bit more about that.
Look, we're just seeing experiments around that, but yeah, certainly being able to wear your goggles or your glasses and
get totally sucked in if you haven't been already, right?
Yeah, so I think that
Facebook world sounds really scary.
Yeah, so I think this is how social will fight back, and it will be very much around that local community group. So I suppose you could go to the local market virtually, and then do e-commerce slash social ordering through that process. So that whole world gets more integrated, not less. And I think you'll be able to. Everything that you want will just turn up there. So it'll be less kind of being, advertised to, I suspect. It'll just kind of happen and be there even more so than it is now.
Yeah, okay. Okay, that actually sounds really exciting, and it sounds like a great opportunity for real estate agents because no one knows the local community better than local agents, right?
That's right. So it's how, they adopt data, how they adopt these environments as we move forward, so that they can still remain a core part of the real estate transaction. And because at the end of the day, they can, and I don't think they're going to go away, but they will need to adopt this newer technology in a greater form than they are now, if they want to be, remain the number one agent in their area in the next 5 years, I suspect.
Yeah, awesome. So the future looks very bright. There's lots of exciting things coming down the path of social. What does the future look like for property? What's on your roadmap?
So, look, this year we're very much focused on the Australian market, largely for health and other business reasons. we would like to look at the international arena in the UK and the US, at the appropriate time next year. But it is going to be very much dependent on how things open up. Mm-hmm. I'm not in any hurry to travel.
Is anyone?
until things work out. But look, I have been historically a large international traveller, so at the right time, we'd like to do that. In terms of the product, I think we'd really like to be able to introduce cross-channel recommendations and optimizations so that we could actually say that, YouTube's outperforming, LinkedIn or outperforming Facebook or Instagram and these sorts of things. So be able to, based on data, be able to provide that kind of cross-recommendation engine for a budget. Workflow tools so that, so we could proactively recommend certain things to agents and agencies based off what they're doing. So, you haven't posted for 5 days. Here's an example post. Press this, and it goes out for you. Mm-hmm. Curated, definitely some curated content. So being able to widen our content options that we can do automatically or semi-automated through the system.
Awesome. Well, Craig, it's been absolutely fantastic talking to you again. Congratulations on the launch of Properti and well done on all of the elements that you've pulled into it.
Thanks very much. No, it's a great podcast series you run, and very happy to be part of it. Thank you.
No worries. Thank you. Thanks for being on the PropTech podcast. So that was Craig Deveson from Properti, a new platform that helps agents automate their social media by connecting it up to their CRM and creating targeted audiences inside Facebook Ad and Business Manager. Now, we can see from ActivePipe digital marketing research that there is a huge need for products that simplify social media marketing without diluting any of its power. You don't want to be boosting, you want to be really targeting the ads and getting that done properly. And that's where Properti fills the niche. In the new report, Digital Marketing in Real Estate in 2021, Uncovering the Skill Gap, 81% of agents said that they believed social media is effective at building their brand, and a further 78% of agents thought that social media was an effective way to engage with the local community. But that research also shows that when it comes to the details of how to achieve the results they want from social media, which is actually leads, most agents are really unclear, and only 22% have a written digital strategy. So there is a really large need for products like Properti, and Spoke is another, that make it easy for agents to get better results from platforms like Facebook and Instagram. And I really do have to congratulate Craig for his work on Properti. After that fateful night at the bar, after the PropTech Summit, he came to me and pitched me with a PropTech idea, and I genuinely can't remember what it was, but I do remember it being very complicated and giving him some quite brutal feedback that it would probably never fly. But to his credit, he wasn't daunted. He went back to the drawing board and rethought it through, and Properti is the end result. So if you're an agent struggling with social media, and I know there's a lot of you out there, give Properti a try. Now, if you have enjoyed this episode of the PropTech podcast, please tell your friends or drop me a line either via email, on LinkedIn, or on our Facebook page. You can follow the podcast on Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple iTunes, and Anchor, and all good podcast places. I'd like to thank my audio support, Charlie Hollins, and the fabulous Jill Escudero, who keeps me so organised, and our sponsors, Direct Connect, making moving easy, Smidge Wines, exclusive wines made in limited quantities by Matt Weng, and ActivePipe, now helping you win more leads through your email marketing with content-driven campaigns. Now, if you run a PropTech business or you're the founder of a PropTech, make sure you join the PropTech Association. It's Australia's new not-for-profit association made up of tech people who are passionate about the property industry and committed to improving experiences in how we buy, sell, rent, manage, build, design and finance property. Joining will give you access to events and networks across Australia and globally that will help you promote and grow your business. Go to proptechassociation.com.au. Thanks so much, everyone. Until next week, keep on PropTeching.